Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Bachiru. So in this video I want to talk about the Season 2 changes for Ramlethal. I don't know what Arcsys were thinking with this character. They make her so much better. They buff her. And she goes like from a top 5 character from the previous season until a top 3 character very comfortably in this season. I feel like she still cannot beat like some characters in matchups in like the new meta, but my god, she's crazy. This patch, I feel like her nerfs are so insignificant to talk about, but yalla, let's cover them anyways. So guys, before we begin, if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't done already, and let's begin with the video. So the first change I want to talk about actually is 2K. 2K is 7th frame startup and it's -2 on block. It was really great for pressure and to low crush people, but you didn't get much reward after it. So if you hit it like from maximum ranges, you couldn't really like convert actually until like with a Dauro or something. But now since it has decreased knockback, what you can do actually from certain ranges, you can link it into a 2D, then you can go like for a hard knockdown. There are more benefits for 2K now, but they're related to universal changes, but I'll talk about the universal changes later on in this video. The second big buff in my opinion for her is Close Slash. So Close Slash now, it used to be -2 on block, now it's basically +1 on block. So it means that Ramlethal gets to keep her 10 after Close Slash. This is important, why? Because number one, you can go for like a tick throw setup after it, something like that, or you can go for example like for a 2-5 Close Slash into a 2 slash, which is used to be like a frame tap before, but now it's more reliable, or you can go for example like Close Slash into a 2K, which is now a true frame trap. This makes her pressure in the mid screen and in the corner much more potent, because you can get like to keep your 10, or you can, for example, you can just keep doing Close Slash pressure just to try to mess people up. You can actually do, for example, like Close Slash into 6 heavy, so it has more applications now. For me, that's something really amazing, and I really like this change for her. The third big change, in my opinion, that we need to talk about is basically Dauro. So now Dauro, when it hits the opponent, it makes Ramlethal stay closer to them. It means that if you hit, for example, like maximum range far slash into Dauro, you can actually get Close Slash afterwards. The other thing is that like they fixed the collision hitbox of Dauro afterwards. It means that before it used to push Ramlethal far away from the opponent, so if you try to do something after Dauro confirm, you would get like a far slash. But now, no matter what range you do it, you will always get a Close Slash. This is such a good quality of life change, because what you can do actually is if you do this, you can actually just stay close to your opponent and you can, for example, throw them. If your opponent tries to contest it, for example, so we will put like here in the counter hit settings, Sol will do like a 3K after hit, which is like a 3 frame normal. You can do something like this, as you can see. So it means that now they cannot really mash after it. This is really amazing actually, and it makes it much more potent. The other thing is that since it pushes the opponent closer, like you make it like you are closer to the opponent after it. If you get, for example, like a counter hit confirm, you can get something like that afterwards now. So this is like a new combo. This is really amazing. The fourth change I want to talk about, which for some people they're finding it a bit weird, but for me I find it really amazing, is the way that the trajectory of Aggressor or Dauro worked. So previously Aggressor or Dauro, when you do it, Ramlethal will little bit flow up, like fly up a bit in the air, then she will land. Now Ramlethal, if you do like a tiger knee motion with the move, she will immediately start descending afterwards. And depending on the direction that you press it, so for example, if I do it, let me put the input history, just to show what I'm talking about. If you press back Aggressor or Dauro, something like that, Ramlethal will go back. But if you press it with front, Ramlethal will go front. This is really important. Why? Because number one, you can really use this move to deal, for example, with 6 piece. So let's put, for example, position reset, Sol will do 6p. So something like that. Before, if you do this, you will really lose. It's really hard actually to deal with this. But now with this change to Aggressor or Dauro, you can really deal with 6Ps more easily. Another thing I also glanced over, we'll talk about it later actually, let's just focus on Aggressor or Dauro for now. The other thing is that actually now, like for example, in some counter hit scenarios and in some specific combo scenarios, you can actually go for like combos after Aggressor or Dauro. So just like a simple example, can go for that afterwards, because now it floats less when you are landing. So it's really good in neutral, and it's really good actually for some confirms. And the other thing is that it really has some really huge hitboxes. It's a -10 on block special move, but with this range and the amount of screen control that you have, so for example, you can do something like that, as you can see. See how much range you are covering, like from full screen. Come on, you can really whiff punish like Kai throwing like a projectile like from full screen. So it's really an amazing change, actually. The final buff that I want to talk about, which in my opinion is really huge, is basically 2S. So what happened to 2S? 2S previously used to be 12 frame startup normal, and it used to be -7 on block. What they did now is they made it like a 10 frame startup, and they made it -5 on block. So it's less dangerous to throw, and it's really hard to whiff punish because it recovers really quickly. So if you do this and Ramlethal will back out, as you can see, it's really, really fast. Why this is important? Because number one, faster normals are always better. Number two, less punishable normals are much better than anything, to be honest. And the third thing is that this move is a disjointed hitbox. It means that where the sword is grinding on the floor, you cannot really punish Ramlethal out of it. So we'll do the position reset thingy again. And let's say, for example, your opponent will try to do 6p, which is a move that beats a lot of things, so as you can see. But if you do this, as you can see, you can actually counter it if you are like fast enough. So this gives Ramlethal a really great round start tool and great pressure tool overall. The other thing is that actually if you get a counter hit from it as well, you can actually really do like really high damage to your opponent. So for example, something like that. As you can see, it's really punishing deeply, even in mid-screen. You can actually go for a hard knockdown. You can go for this afterwards. So there's a lot of reward coming from 2S, and it's basically such a good now like a neutral contest tool overall, and it's a good way to start your pressure. And it's a really good tool actually also to punish like 6Ps, low moves, and it's really just generally a safe button to throw overall. Now let's talk about little bit about the nerfs of Ramlethal, which I find really weird. Number one, they're saying that far slash and heavy slash, they have like reduced vertical hitbox, so it doesn't really mean anything because you're using these buttons usually to contest like horizontal moves or like contesting on the ground. So I feel like this is just like an adjustment and it's not really worth talking about a lot. Another slight buff that I want to talk about, which turned out to be bigger than I thought, is basically the damage distribution of what they call it, Calvados. So let's put here the damage information. Yeah. So now the way that Calvados calculates damage is that like all the small hits, they don't really deal much damage, but the last hit deals a lot of damage. This is really great. Why? Because in situations like when you do it in the corner, it means that Ramlethal overall will get so much higher damage after a wall break, as you can see. So 252 damage from 50 meters is actually pretty insane. It means like in any scenario, as you can see, there's like a 20 damage differential between both attacks. So it's much more like convenient to use. The other thing that I noticed that people are showing off on Twitter now is basically now you can like follow up with like slide death row afterwards, and you can go for a combo after this move. But for me, it's a little bit hard to like reenact because I didn't really practice it that much, to be honest. So another small, like usually mostly like universal changes that happen in this patch is that jump Ps and jump Ks, they have like now, they push the opponent like a bit higher and they're like better for combo conversion. So if you do this, you can actually land for some difficult combos. But to be honest, I haven't been practicing really my combo conversions. So you can do something like that. So as you can see, you can like get much better combos afterwards, which is a nice quality of change like done for this game. But I feel like it's good for the high level later, or like if you have really great awareness, you can convert for better combos. The other big change, in my opinion, like a universal change that Ramlethal really benefited from, is basically the counter hit from like P and K normals. Because the biggest problem that Ramlethal had in the previous patch is like she didn't really get much reward out of like landing like P's and K's like compared to other characters. Like for example, for a character like Sol, if he gets like a 5k, like from anywhere he can do like a 6 heavy into like a full conversion, like into a hard knockdown. Or for a character like Zato, like from 5Ps, he can actually like get rewarded. The 5P and the 5K, like the Ps and the Ks for Ramlethal, they're really amazing buttons, but they didn't really get much reward after them. But because now they have like counter hit properties, you can really go for like really amazing confirm. So for example, if you do 5K before, all you can do basically, if like not from the ideal range, is you can do like for example Dauro, which doesn't really lead into much. But now since it's a counter hit, you can go into Araka, which is like a full counter hit, even 2K, even 5P. Can you imagine? So you can knock down from anything. The last noteworthy nerf that I want to talk about for Ramlethal is basically her like her sword throws in the corner. So now basically, if the opponent manages to hit Ramlethal before the sword like explodes, like after it comes out, before it explodes, the sword will not do the explosion thing. The damage is reduced, and now the hitbox of the explosion is less, but still the frame advantage is the same. So what does that mean? It means that now characters can easily like 6P, like the claw slash sword throw. So if you do this, it's much more easier now for opponents to like to contest it more easily. But I feel like as a Ramlethal player, it would be silly of you to do this anymore, because you have so much good tools for you coming in right now. So for example, you can do this, which is now a true frame trap. You can go for a full combo afterwards. You can do this. So like that. So you can go for a combo afterwards. As you can see, so it's not really, in my opinion, like a significant change. But the thing is, like, it feels like it really encourages you as a Ramlethal player not to autopilot your pressure. So you can still go like for crazy or scary corner pressure. So instead of, for example, going like for this all the time, you can go for this. So you can actually like punish people who are trying to mash. You can go for this, which is like now a true frame trap. The last change basically is for reversal moves, which is like a universal change. It's like we have more Tobato now. It has really higher increased recovery afterwards, so it makes it easier for the opponent to punish it. Another thing that basically that affected her indirectly is before, when you do more Tobato as a counter hit, you can follow it with 214H. But now, because of the increased recovery, you cannot do this anymore. Which is was stupid in the previous patch, to be honest, but anyways, it is what it is. So what does that mean at the end of the day for Ramlethal? Basically, better mid-screen pressure, better neutral game, better conversions, more stable pressure, better normals, better stick throw game, worse pressure in the corner. If you look at it from a certain way, but still I feel like her pressure is so strong because now you have to make your opponent think that they can do something about your corner pressure, you know? And overall higher damage. So I feel like Ramlethal in this current patch, she's a big winner, to be honest. And I feel like maybe Arcsys went a bit too far with buffing her. But for me, I have one big problem with Ramlethal. Not really big, but it's something that really bothers me. I feel like all the other characters, like Nago, like Chip, like Testament, they all get like cool new toys to play with. So for example, like for Nago, he got like his Fukyu cancels. For Chip, he has like more interesting combos. For Testament, he has like it really changed the way that character was being played. Like for Milia, she has like her Kapal change, which makes it better to use in neutral. For Ramlethal, I feel like she didn't really get something new and interesting. She like whatever she had right now, they made it better, you know. And you have to slightly adjust the way that you play the character, because I feel like the things that made her like little bit incomplete, they made her like a much more complete character now. So the things that you are not using like as much as before, like her 2/, her P and K normals, like they're encouraging you to use it more now. And still, like her, what made her strong originally, it's still there. So you still have your like your Rekka hard knockdowns. You still have like your insanely long normals. You still have like your damage. You still have your like your corner pressure. They just gave her like a new stuff to play around. Not totally new. Like they enhanced the things that were lacking for her. But did she get something new and interesting, like to alter the way she plays? No. And for me, unfortunately, this makes me a bit sad. I'm happy that she's still a strong character, but I feel like I wanted like to play her in a new way, the same way that some other characters are enjoying like these changes. Hopefully in the next big patch Ramlethal will get this, and because of this I feel like I will still main Ramlethal, but I'm definitely picking up a secondary character, so I will either be playing Milia or Testament alongside Ramlethal, because I feel like there's nothing new to do with Ramlethal. It's basically what she has became better. That's if that makes any sense. I know that as Ram players we should be happy, but for me I've played the game like long enough for me to crave something new and for me to crave some new change, like to make the character more interesting to play. I still love the character, but I really wish like they did some changes to alter a little bit the way she plays. But yeah guys, that's it. Thank you so much as always for watching. Let me know what do you think about the RAM changes and Season 2 in general, and I'll catch you in next video. Yalla, peace.